Um, Good morning, Dakota.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much for taking the time to meet with me. Really appreciate it. I'm glad that Anne was able to connect us. I wanted to give you a little bit of insight. I'm not sure how much you know about my company, but I wanted to give you a little bit of insight into our company. We're a startup business. I started the company with my close friends and my family. So I'm very passionate about it, but I'm also passionate about our growth and our long-term stability and the future outlook of the company. So I'm constantly trying to try new things and look at new technology so we can continuously advance, in our business. Um, I understand you have an animation and coding background from Anne. So I wanted to hear a little bit about that. And I was hoping we could talk about a possible opportunity within my company.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I'm so glad Anne was able to connect us. I love my Aunt Anne very much. So I graduated from RISD, which is the Rhode Island School of Design, with a bachelor's in film and animation and video. Animation is really my passion. I would love to be part of your company. I love the idea of a startup, super hardworking and scrappy. So I think our talents really would work well together, and we can have, a great long-term working relationship. I think the idea, a little bit about what I've heard, and from Anne in my research is that, you guys are looking really to turn literary classics into games. And I think that's an amazing way to try to reach younger audiences and really show how these classics can still be relevant. Um, I hope that you were able to review kind of my animation work, my past two pieces, the bouncy ball and the sound blender. I was responsible for those two pieces, so I definitely have what it takes to be a leader on the project. So really super excited to hear a little bit more about what you had in mind and see how we might be able to
Sure.
work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you touched on some things. My long-term goal for the company is really to merge, education and entertainment together. So bringing Beowulf to life was really exciting for me, and I'm passionate about that. Can you tell me what has been your experiencing managing projects with, other coders and animators, and have you been working directly with customers as well?
I have been working a little bit with customers. My preference really is to work more on the animation, and really dive deep into both the design as well as coding to be able to bring that project to life. I feel sometimes when your attention is split between multiple things, then it's hard kind of to get what you want, and the best possible product, coming out if spending time as well, working with customers. I have managed a number of people, especially on, those two projects. So it is something I'm very comfortable with, but I think for some things like this, you might not need that many people, depending on the scope of the project. It might be something that, a few talented animators kind of really diving in, could be able to get this done with for you, and you don't have to kind of waste having multiple people on staff and trying to figure out really what everybody might be doing. I think we might be able to hone in with just a few.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll be candid. I have a meeting coming up in a couple of weeks with Viamount Entertainment, and it's a very big opportunity. I'm very excited about it. I already have a lot of social media followers, and I think that if we're able to get this deal done with Viamount, it will be huge.
That's excellent.
Um, I've worked a little bit in animation and coding, but I am no way, shape, or form an expert. So that's where I'm hoping that you can help me with that and our company. Being a startup, obviously, a lot of people play many different roles within the company.
Sure.
So I would be looking to see if you could work directly with Viamount and their creators, so that we can cohesively work together. Obviously, I'll be working with you as well, but
Sure.
there's going to have to be some direct communication, obviously, there with them.
Okay.
Um, do you have any hardware or software at all? Like, do you have your own? Were you looking for us to, help supplement?
I do have a great computer that I've been able to really customize for myself. I think depending on what you're looking for and the rate and the speed, I think it would be great to have kind of a fully outfitted, hardware and software package to be able to kind of have here. But we can definitely see what looking at the different points, what makes the most sense and what the company is able to offer.
Sure. Yeah, I honestly am looking, I would be looking for you to start immediately on the project.
Okay.
Like I said, the meeting's in a couple of weeks. We have kind of a rough draft together, but I'm not happy with it. And I'll certainly share that with you and you can take some pieces if you'd like, but I am open to scrapping it completely. And I trust your design and, um, I saw the national campaign come out for Allmart. So that's, I know that you do great work. So,
Thank you.
from an hourly perspective, where are you looking to be?
Sure, from hours per week or rate or both?
I'm sorry, yeah, the rate per hour. I guess how long it should be. I guess I'm not sure, how simple of a project this could be for you. I'm
Sure.
assuming that it's probably simple to come up with something like this, but I may be wrong. So I'm not sure how many hours you believe that it could take you and,
Sure.
the hourly rate that you're looking for.
Sure. I think based on the project, and again, not until I dive a little deeper into it to really understand the background, um, probably looking at about, if we start kind of immediately within the next, whatever, 5, 15 days, somewhere in and around there, um, it'll probably be, um, again, rough estimating of, anywhere from like 20 to 35 days, around a month maybe to complete this thing. Depending on, how many hours a week. Ideally, would love to have at $70 an hour. Um, and probably, within working, maybe 5 to 10 hours a week or something like that on on the project, to be able to get you there, I think would be able to work.
Okay, yeah, I definitely need something quicker. Like I said,
Okay.
the meeting's in a couple of weeks, so i- ideally, if you'd be able to get it done, I mean, we'd be up to the deadline, obviously, at between 10 and 15 days. But if we could get closer on the 10 days, I'd I'd definitely be willing to look at paying $60 an hour, and I would give you $1,000 in advance on the project. And then once it's completed at the same time, I'm more than willing. I have a little bit of wiggle room and I'd be more than willing to, compensate you in addition to that hourly rate once it's completed. I'm just really looking to get it done as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I have a few other projects right now in the mix, so 10 days I wouldn't be able to get it done in 10 days. I think probably the soonest I might be able to do might be about, again, probably 2025, just based on what all would need to go into this, assuming again we're starting from scratch. um Beowulf is pretty heavy material, so trying to figure out that storyline and how this all works. um I probably wouldn't be able to do it much sooner than that. um and I think, from an advanced standpoint, um typically it's higher. So I think it would be, great if I can get about, 1,500 if we're negotiable there. Um, and the hourly rate, we can kind of work with that.
Sure. Yeah, I'd be willing to do 1,500 in advance if you'd be able to get it down to 15 days, but I'd be firm on the $1,000 in advance if it's going to take 20 days because I'm going to have
Sure.
to probably push the meeting.
Right, right. No, understandable. Um, I think we can probably do the 15 days. If um you know, if we can hit that advance. Um, and I think, you know, depending on from a timing perspective, you know, if I'm able to dedicate more time, I can see if I can pull off some of these projects and maybe do, you know, 10 hours a week instead of 5, to try to really be able to then hit that target for you.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to do that, you might need to get up to 15 hours a week just to be able to, hit on those 15, days completion. But, that's up to you. I'm not
If
sure.
possible, then I
Yeah,
would need to have a higher advance and a higher hourly rate in order to do that, because then this becomes a rush project. And, you know, I want to make sure that everybody is happy with how this looks. We're
sure.
getting in front of the company, you know, obviously both of our reputations then online want to make sure that this is something that you're happy with, that they're happy with, and want to make sure that everything, you know, the kinks are all through. So I really would rather not, you know, try not to rush it if possible. But if we do need to make this a rush, then I think those other numbers would have to go up. And then I would have to have kind of a fully outfitted hardware and software then, just to make sure I can press go kind of starting immediately on the project, and we can start running.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'd be willing to keep it then at the 10 hours a week,
Okay.
um, at the $60 rate, and then it'd be, the thousand in advance.
Well, I thought the 15 days was 1,500 in advance. If we
Oh,
got that.
you're right. You're right. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yep. Yep.
And then from a title and job duties perspective, I guess, I know you talked about a little bit, dealing with just the client of Viamount. From a, again, timing perspective, knowing that we have to get this done, um, I would love to either then just code, excuse me, just animate, or just code and animate, um, from a timing perspective, really be able to heads down, get this top notch for you. And then maybe once it's done, be able to be part of that meeting, with Viamount or something like that. But at least from kind of now until the due date, just kind of heads down, be able to either just animate this thing or to also code and animate it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'd love for you to be part of the meeting, but if it's something that you're unable to do schedule wise, I understand. I can certainly back brief you on that. It would be great to be part of it because I'd love for you to potentially work more for my company after this. I think that, there's a lot that I can offer in terms of flexible schedule
Sure.
and, things that are obviously non-monetary when we have a smaller startup like
Hmm.
my own. So I'm willing to work and be flexible with you personally as well. Um, so that's fine. You can focus on that. And then after, and let's hope that buy amount actually wants to do the deal, then I'd be looking for you to obviously work with their team as much as possible
Sure.
because, like I said, we have to wear just
From a
different
collaboration
hats
standpoint, for
at
sure.
the company. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Um, and then, there's a possibility for in the future, just like I don't know where we'll go with the company, but I don't want to throw it out there. But from an
Sure.
equity standpoint, that's always a possibility too. We
Okay.
can we can talk about that further. But in terms of, I guess, like job title, I was thinking somewhere along, senior animation developer or creative technology developer. You would ultimately be my right hand, and with that would come, the possibility, like I said, of equity in the future.
Right. Yeah, no, that would be great. I think I very much would love to explore something long term. I think this is an amazing area. And again, I love the startup feel and what you guys are looking to do and achieve, and a family business. And again, trying to really make it in this space is not an easy thing. So I think it's amazing what you're looking to do. Yeah, I think from a title, I think you said that like a chief technology officer, chief creative officer, something like that would be great.
Yeah. Bad. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, a senior animation developer, like something along those lines, or creative technology director. I think uh, I wouldn't necessarily say chief technology officer. Maybe in the future, once the deal is done right now, and we have something more of a full-time, I would say, position, we can reevaluate. But right now, I'd rather go along the lines of creative director, um, just because you're just stepping into this, and it's the
Sure.
first project. So, and
Right.
it'll boost your resume. I feel like having, chief technology director on there might, yeah, that's a good resume booster.
Right. But I thought you said you didn't want the chief technology director. You were saying more of a creative
Oh,
director.
creative director.
I've been creative director and vice president on my other ones, so I don't want to look like this is, taking a step back for any of this. So, as you said, I myself am looking from where my career will go with this, and feel like I have earned my stripes in my other pieces. So really would like to move forward with something that is at a higher level. Granted, just on this project wouldn't necessarily be for the company, but at least from this project perspective, if I am going to be kind of your right hand and the lead on something, then I want to make sure that I have a title on the project that reflects that. So I think, a chief creative officer at least would be able to help that along.
That's fair. I mean, would you be willing to be vice president of technology?
Um, no, I really would rather have that chief creative officer, right now. I think again, given everything that needs to be done here, and in that short amount of time, want to be able to show that I have had a hand in this and be able to help you succeed.
Okay, I'm willing to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So I think that we've pretty much settled on the chief creative officer role.
Hmm.
In terms of job duties, you'll be animating and coding,
Okay,
but once the meeting's over, and again, it's up to you if you'd like to join the
sure.
meeting. I'd love for you to join the meeting,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you will need to work with Viamount directly.
Okay,
So I think that we're good on that. Looks like we have 15 days completion. You'll start immediately with a $1,500 advance, 10 weekly hours at a rate of $60, and you're outfitted in terms of your software unless something pops up where we might need to do something.
perfect. Yeah, that's great. Do you have anything already in mind for the next title that you'll be doing, or are you kind of concentrating on Beowulf first and then seeing what happens from the interest standpoint?
Yeah, I think this, with the opportunity with Buy Entertainment, is a big one. So I think that first and foremost will be the biggest project that we're going to be working on right now. But I would hope that there's an opportunity for you, to possibly, if you have networks, friends, anyone in the business that you would recommend, we probably will need them for this project. So that would be huge. And I would love to take any recommendations on that so that we can obviously advance within the business.
Absolutely. I have a number of people from the last project that I think would be great in terms of being able to really um, coding and really and I have somebody else too that could possibly work from a customer service standpoint and being able to help in those meetings too. So I can recommend some of my right hands as well.
Great. That's great. I feel like that would alleviate a lot of the tasks away from the two of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the stress.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable working with them and hopefully once you meet them, you will be too.
Great. Sounds good.
Awesome. This is great. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I think this is going to be super exciting and I really can't wait to jump in.
Me too. Thank you.
Great.